Hello, compadres. I'm trying out a new camera here, so we'll see how this goes. Anyway, today I am going to tie this. It's called a Flashcade. Really good fly. Looks a mess actually, but really good fly for all sorts of things. It's a fun one to tie. It's got a palmered body and all that, so you can have it in yellow, orange, on a tube, do whatever you like. So I'm going to tie a size 6 here. It's a Patriot hook. May have information on hooks coming for the kits. If I could find my thread, we'll start. So the thread is 6, so I'm trying out a new one, Tech Stream. It's really good actually. It's really strong, which is what I need for these giant hands I've got. So just wind your thread on. Then grab some silver oval tinsel in medium. I can see myself in the laptop now, so I can see the bloody things in focus. So just wind that on down to where the points of the hooks are, and then we're going to do 5 turns at the back. 1, I've lost count, 5 or 6, and then bring that under, pull it tight, and bring it under and tie it off. This is why I like this thread. I can yank on it and that's secure in place. So I just wind up halfway and then fold the wire back between the two barbs, sharpie bits, and then tie that on tight back, and that way it's secure and we can really tug on it. Next is some bucktail in yellow. I can't describe colours. Yellow, black and orange. Those colours totally escape my mind there. You can stack this if you want. I don't bother. I don't like neat flies. I don't tie neat flies. I just use my fingers to get it as even as I can. I like a more natural look in my flies. So I get about twice the length of the shank, as is the rule when it comes to tails. It's not really. So tie that halfway up, and then I just go back down tightly and trim that away. Halfway up, because we're going to dub the front half of the body. Then some, what did I use for this? UV. So 6 or 7 strands of pearl angel hair. Pearl angel hair. And then just 4 or 5 turns to get that in. That's plenty. Trim that away, keep that for later. If you just wet the ends, it's disgusting, but it does the job. And then just trim that at a nice taper. Don't just go in and snip it. It all clumps together. Then we need some boar bristle. This is the paltry amount I've got left. So I'm going to take just a bunch. This stuff here is excellent dubbing for fata corvas or gorvas, however you pronounce it. So I've taken a good bunch of these, and I'm just going to curve them with my fingers. I don't count them or anything, because we want the action of these. They're very jiggly and wiggly, and tie them in a bit longer than the tail. This is where we need the good strong thread. Excellent. So try and get a hold of the tail. I shouldn't have let it go there, but I did, because I am what's called a fanny in these parts. I'm just bending that upwards. So then again, just tie this in tight as you can, halfway up the body. Keep this nice and neat, because it's going to be mylar over this. I'm doing it again, it's going to be mirage over this. I'm just trimming that away. I'll fast forward this bit. Excellent. So then some mirage tinsel, as they say in France, I believe. They don't really. So take your mirage tinsel, a good bunch of it. This is medium size. You could get away with large on this. So just come round with that and touch and turns, and over the black it looks green. It's beautiful. And we're going to tie too far so we can get it really tied in well. There we go. Save that for later. Then some gold dubbing. There's my baldy napper in the thing. This is a mixed dubbing I made. It's gold, silver and other gold. The thing I like about this thread actually is it's rough, so it dubs really well without the need for wax. I've nothing against wax, I'm just lazy. So I'm going to take that back a turn. We want a nice wee ball here. Don't go too far up the head. You want this quite thick because we're going to brush it out. See how well that dubs on? I'm really impressed with it. And then just a few turns at the front. Then one of these, which is a clink hammer hackle. Easy to say if you're not me. So tie that in on the side of the hook and give it a good few turns to get it started, and then gently break that off and fold this back on itself, and that way it won't pull out. And I bet this pulls out now. No, it doesn't, thank God. So one turn at the head and then just even spaced turns down the body. And then grab your oval tinsel and come round, pull it real tight, and then even turns up the body. 4 or 5 turns. I like them quite close actually, because it locks the materials in better. You will trap a few fibres, but don't worry about that. Sweep all that back. Then give that a good yank backwards. Trim away. And then trim your hackle away. Just leave a tiny little tag on it, which you'll never ever see. Just for a bit of security. You can cut too close and they fall out sometimes. I don't know how I know that. I'm looking for my dubbing brush and I've completely and utterly lost it. Here it is, it's next to me. So just give this a quick pick out, the dubbing here, and it gets trapped in these fibres and glows in the water. It's really cool, really cool effect. This is why we tie everything in tight, and the water brings it all to life. They look a bit kind of shitty in real life, but once you whack them into water, they look great. So then a tiny little bit of good quality fox. It's got to be the thin stuff for this. You can't get away with the chunkier stuff. This is just to hold some flash in, really. So I'm tying it in just a bit too long. One loose turn. Then another couple. And I want the wing just about halfway into the tail. Made some great connections today for the fly tying kits. Some awesome ones. Particularly Tony at Stay Hooked, who's going to partner on the project for fly tying for mental health, which I'm really excited about. So if you're needing materials for these, just go to him, and once the material packs are out, we'll see what happens with them. But I've already sold 4 or 5, I can't actually remember now, and they're not even out yet. So anyway, then a little bit of peacock angel hair, a nice little bunch, like 20 odd fibres or something like that, and we're going to double it. This is I call these the electric series. It's very 80s. So you double that back over. Get that tied in just now. Oops. And then that should be about the right length. Just a few that are too long, so I'll just nip them off. Perfect. Then I've got a few random fibres here, so I'll just tie them back. And you can see what the palmer tackle is doing. It's holding the wing up so it flicks in the current. Have you seen that? It's pretty cool. It really, and this all sparkles off the top of it. It looks like a little fish swimming, even though it's meant to be a shrimp. But we'll do what the hell we like. So this is a yellow one. Thus I'm using a yellow feather. yellow hen in this case. I just do 4 turns, nip the end off, and tie in those fibres that are left. You should strip the fluff off. I'm incredibly lazy though, but we're not going to tie up to it, so it shouldn't matter. So just a couple of turns of yellow, that'll do nicely. There we go. 3 to hold it on, and then just give it a yank, not to the point you move the vise, and snip off. Get all that brush back. Just go to the front of the hook just now and wind all the way back. And we've got one more hackle to get on. That's a lovely fly right there actually. We need a blue grizzle hackle. This adds a bit of dark to the head, and a touch of blue can never go wrong. Well, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So tie that in, same process as the yellow. Pop that off. And then just a couple of turns of this as well. It's quite a heavily dressed fly, it's designed for spring and bigger water. You can tie it much lighter if you want. It sort of loses that shape and function kinda if you tie it too small. So tie that blue hackle off. Don't worry about that mesh just now. Snip, snip, snipping away. And got all this crap back. I'm giving it quite a big head. I like stuff being tied in properly. Oh, it's just covering the gaps here. Can't have a gap in your thread. What self-respecting fish would take a fly that had a gap in the thread? That's pretty good, and we'll just put some JC on. And this is the state of this that I've had for about a bloody week or something. So that's the next problem, is sourcing some of this. I won't be supplying Jungle Cock, you're on your own with that one. So I'm just taking 2 fairly big eyes. I'm stripping all the fluff from the sides. And then I'll tie them in one by one. You put one in your mouth. So 4 turns, 3 or 4 turns to hold that in. Same on that side, check they're the same length or they're not, so I'm going to pull this one in slightly. This thread is really good actually. I have to give it its due. I can hardly move the jungle cock, which is a good sign. So there we go, I've just pulled that in, that's fine. And then just fold these wee bits, these wee shitey bits, back, if you can. Can't get a hold of them. And then just tie your way back again. Ignore everything just now. Give it an admire. And then with your whip finisher, which I can't find, is here. And then just whip finish over the top. Just checking, oh there's a wee white bit there, we can't have that, so just whip finish over it. Whoops. I'm going to try this thread. It's excellent for tubes, really excellent for tubes. Just a bit heavy for doubles, I would say. But it is 6/0, so I wouldn't expect it to be incredibly neat on doubles. It's not designed for doubles, really, so there's that. And then to finish your fly, always a dab of super glue. Especially where the JC is. Don't worry about it looking neat, just get a little dab on all round. And that'll never come apart. And then once that's dry, just slap some varnish on it. Sally Henson Insta Dry, greatest stuff ever. I'll be keeping this fly, so I'm not too bothered that the head's a bit big. I don't mind a big head on a fly. So there we have it. You can see that. Have I just been filming and you can't see? Is that better? So a pretty fun wee fly to tie. And have fun doing it, obviously, that's what it's all about. It'll definitely catch you fish. I can tell you that. It won't catch me fish. It'll definitely catch you fish. And these will be on the website. It's called a Flashcade at the moment. I invented it last year sometime. But I'd love it to have a different name, so if you can think of anything. I don't know. There's a lot going on in it, so anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. I love seeing that. And look out for my Instagram with the Fly Tying for Mental Health project, which has really taken off. I will have fly tying kits out soon. This will be a fly tying kit eventually, but I've got to get the golden banana one out the way first. So once I've done that, we're laughing.